Hi everyone, let's talk about Glen More II Chronicles, which again is on Kickstarter right now, and you can click the link in the description to go to the campaign page and see all of the lovely final stuff that they've got going on over there. This is before that, so I don't know what's there. Anyway, the game itself. Glen More, the original, is a favourite of ours. It's a fantastic tile-laying game where you are considering this spatial puzzle as well as everything else, where you're restricted in your placing tiles, where you have to place orthogonally, you have to place adjacent to Scotsman, so the manipulation of them is important, but also the tiles activate themselves and everything around them. So it's a beautiful puzzle of how to get the most out of, not just get the tile that's best for you, but where to place it so it is most effective. So it's setting off not just the most things, but the most effective things at the time that you take the tile. It's a beautiful, beautiful puzzle. And that comes from the time track as well. I talked about this in High Rise, about what a fantastic system the time track is. I believe Glen More was the first game that we played that used it. And yeah, the person in last place on the time track just it's their turn and they have to pick a tile. You can pick anything as well. You can go as far forward as you like, but you are giving the other players free reign to take turns before you get another one. You have to wait until they've gone in front of you before they take one. So they could take loads of brilliant things if you skip ahead too far. There is a nice restriction in that there is the punishment at the end. People that have more tiles than the person with the fewest get punished by losing points, by being too greedy and taking too many tiles. So there is that push and pull of you can jump ahead, but other people can take more tiles. But if they take too many, they'll get punished for them. It's a really, really nice system. So the original game itself, and the market is beautiful as well. You can get, you don't necessarily have to produce the resources. You can buy resources when you need them, but you give up more and more money, which is points, for them when you need them. But you can also, if you get that production later on, you can spot demand and make a lot of coins by selling resources that you probably have a surplus of. And it's a way of getting rid of them as well, because you are limited to how many resources you can have on a tile. So just the game itself, absolutely love Glen More. And yeah, it was hard to get. You know, this is a German copy. You just needed some paste ups for the castles and things. But yeah, I found it very, very hard to get an English copy. So there have been rumblings of Glen More II for quite a while. There was a game, Loon Architects, that I never actually got a chance to play, that was inspired by Glen More, that added some things to it. But ever since that game got announced, I heard rumblings of a Glen More II, and now it's finally here. So what's new? It's all been redone. All of the artwork, it's still, a prototype. So again, campaign page will have more final stuff in it. But yeah, all of the artwork has been redone, and it's kind of a more deluxe version. Alia make absolutely fantastic games, but sometimes, the production can be a bit lacking, or could be much fancier, as it is in this new version. But as well, it makes several changes. You can overbuild tiles now, which is nice because it's not increasing your kingdom size, and it's not going to lead to big punishments for you by taking those. But also, they come out later in the game where hopefully you can overbuild tiles that you don't necessarily want to get rid of, but are right in the middle, and can activate a load of tiles at once, which is a good benefit, but also can activate tiles that probably have been completely surrounded and aren't going to be activated again. That's a really nice extra. The clan board is a huge new addition, and person tiles as well. They're another thing to consider for scoring in between rounds. And the clan board itself is a great extra because you can go anywhere you like. Again, it's similar to the time track mechanism. You can go for any power you like, but the powers will have different. They'll have different efficacy depending on whether you take them, because they aren't endgame scoring options in the purple ones. They score right when you take the benefit. So you have to kind of time. I've got a lot of Scotsmen out there, but I could get a lot more. Maybe I should wait a little bit, but as always, if you wait, someone else might swoop in and take it because it's good for them, or it's just an option that's available. The price that you pay for them is nice as well, that you can take ones that are much more effective, but you'll need to pay coins for them. But as people spread out across that clan board, you only have to pay for the links between the one you want and the nearest clan marker. So other people taking things can make things cheaper for you as well. apologies for the cut, I've been rambling on and haven't even got to Chronicles yet. So the name of the sequel, the revised edition, is Chronicles because it comes with all of these mini expansions called Chronicles that will adjust the game in various ways. And yeah, it's only been teased a bit so far, but they are going to have guest designers contributing Chronicles to the game as well. And yeah, I used the first Chronicle in the playthrough, if you haven't seen that, where now there is a boat race going on. There is a river going through everyone's kingdom. And so now there is a boat race, and that works beautifully well because you have this thematic thing that you are racing around everybody's kingdoms, and there are dummy kingdoms if you haven't got a full 4 players playing. But as well, it gives you another use for movements that early on, or if you've got a very small kingdom, you don't really care about moving your Scotsmen that much, although you do want them to be on your starting castle for the scoring in between rounds. It gives you another use for that. And it also has this great thing where it kind of, and I think this is going to come out of a lot of the Chronicles in the game, where it takes, it takes what you expect about Glen More and adds new twists in it. In just the start tile for the race is somewhere near the start of the B stack, so you know vaguely when the race is going to start. But it's a tile that comes out that everyone needs to jump over. As soon as someone has jumped over it, it's the start of the race. It's a nice little thematic extra onto that Chronicle, but it also adds another thing. It's not a tile that you need to take, although the Chronicle does add some tiles that give you loads of movement to help out if you want to really win the race. But yeah, I like the implementation of tiles that aren't necessarily things that we're bothered about taking, but are triggers for other things. That's a really interesting concept. And I'm sure that there's going to be loads of extra stuff because that's an easy Chronicle as well. There is going to be loads of different difficulties and different extra game time, different amounts of extra game time that they add, depending on how many you mix and match as well. Maybe you could play some kind of insane mega game with all of the Chronicles turned on, although that's probably not recommended. But hey, it's probably worth a try, isn't it? So yeah, I loved the original game. I think I mentioned that enough. And the new Chronicles, even though this is just in prototype form, it's looking great. I have seen the posts on Twitter and things about the art in progress and stuff, and these guest designers. I'm really excited for the potential of the final thing. But just from this prototype and just having played with a couple of the Chronicles, I absolutely love the additions to it. Glen More was one that we loved enough that I wouldn't have said that it needed all of this stuff, but having these extra scoring opportunities, more end game scoring opportunities, and just from the combination of Chronicles, just vastly different games, I'm really, really excited by. Just games in the game in itself. It's a fantastic time track game. And another one from Matthias Kramer. He's a fantastic designer, by the way, as well. He did this. He did Kraftwagen. That is similar in that you are making old-fashioned cars, old-timey cars. And that has a similar time track, but there's no restriction there for taking a load of turns in a row. I did a playthrough for that quite early on in the channel. Go watch Kraftwagen if you want. And also Rococo. He's co-designer on Rococo, which is a fantastic one. That's the first 2-player game playthrough I ever did, I think. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by designer credits. He makes fantastic games. I always look out for, I think, a couple that come out like Fight for Olympus. Not into conflict and stuff, but even so, I always keep an eye on them and hope that they'll be compatible with us, because the ones that we've played have been absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I really like this idea of taking an existing game and not just doing a reprinting of it and redoing the artwork and stuff, but adding substantially more to the game that really improves something that was held in very, very high regard by us in the first place. But hey, I hope that the playthrough gave you a good impression of whether you would be interested in the game. You're not me, are you? Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm not just sat at home watching my own videos again. Stop it. Go find something else to do. Film more of them. Anyway, this is just descending into silliness now. So I'm going to go and film more videos where I talk about more games. But hey, Glen More is on Kickstarter right now. And check it out if you want to. I really love it. But I loved the first one, and I was going to say that, wasn't I? Bye.